Indigenous people face a crisis of survival, an epidemic of violence that affects our women, our sisters, our daughters, and our families every day. 4 out of 5 Native women will experience some form of violence in their lifetime. 40% of sex trafficking victims are Native American women. And murder is the third leading cause of death. While women and girls are the primary victims of violence and human trafficking among Native Americans, they are not alone. People of all ages are victims of these horrific crimes, including men, boys, infants, and the elderly. These numbers become more dire when reminded that Native people make up only 2% of the U.S. population. In 2016, even though 5,712 cases of missing Native women were reported, only 116 of those cases made it to the U.S. Department of Justice Missing Persons database. In 2022, 5,487 cases were reported, and about 4,000 of those cases were individuals under 17 years of age. By the end of 2022, 658 cases were still open. A staggering number of Native missing person cases are never reported to the proper channels and are not investigated with the same concern and vigor as cases of other demographics.
I'm Captain Pete Knowlton with the Stillaguamish Police, and I'm the Community Policing Liaison for the tribe.
Could you tell us about how tribal law enforcement is working to help tribes combat this crisis?
The Department of Justice puts on training that's focused on missing and murdered Indigenous women, persons, and I've attended the majority of the classes. They're always updating and coming out with more, but we intend to keep as many officers up to speed on it as possible.
How does the tribal police work with the Washington State Police?
We work well with our neighboring agencies. Snohomish County Sheriff's Department and Arlington Police Department are two that I've worked with pretty closely in the past on larger cases. And the Washington State Patrol, as they control all our essentially our access to databases of people and vehicles and residents stuff.
In what ways are the tribal police addressing the systematic issues that contribute to the disproportionately high rates of violence against Indigenous women?
So that's a little harder question. In the Stillaguamish Police Department has a focus on it because it's our purview, I suppose. So we stay up to speed on those trainings, and we want to make sure that nothing tribal related slips through the cracks, that everything gets its attention because there's a jurisdictional boundary with another agency. We make sure that anything we're involved with gets all the investigative power that we can offer.
What measures are being taken to ensure that cases of violence against Native women are thoroughly investigated and prosecuted?
Our police department currently does a very good job at that. We probably investigate to the kind of motto of no stone unturned.
How are you addressing the issue of non-Native perpetrators committing crimes on tribal lands and the challenges of prosecuting them?
So Stillaguamish Police is somewhat unique in our kind of station. We are CJTC certified, which is state certified peace officers, just like all the other law enforcement officers in the state of Washington. We can charge people into state court, so non-natives into state court. We don't have to get another agency to do that for us. We can do that ourselves.
What message do you have for Indigenous communities who may feel distrustful of law enforcement due to historical trauma and ongoing injustices?
Yeah, that's definitely something we need to work on further. Here at Stilly, we do. I put on quite a few like youth events, just trying to connect with the young people as they're growing up to try to deal with those long term issues. We still see like some of the older folks struggle with it, which is understandable. I say that the future's bright. We even spend time in the daycare, so try to get close to the children when they're young and show them that we're there for them, and we're not their enemy, and we make sure we're not.
Any further comments?
I would just say that this is a very serious issue, and our police department is involved in helping other neighboring tribes as well, any way we can. Um, and I'd say if anybody has information of something like this in a reservation somewhere, like tell somebody, bring awareness to it so it can find the proper channels and get investigated, and we can try to put an end to this.
Today, on May 5th, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Awareness Day, we don the color red and we raise our voices, shining a light on the injustices endured by Native women. Some of us choose to wear a red hand over our mouth to symbolize the silence and oppression that plague our communities, as well as the deafening silence from media, law enforcement, and government agencies regarding missing person cases. We stand in solidarity with our First Nation brothers and sisters in their grief and anger towards the inequalities and injustices Native women and children face. Today, we remember all those who were never found, and those who live with trauma and without the peace that justice can bring.